Let's dive into some pressers from today featuring Patrick Mahomes, Coach Reid, and Ronald Jones, and take a look at some highlights from today's full team practice at training camp, including an amazing catch by rookie Skyy Moore, and much freaking more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, aka the Red-Bearded Sensei, Bow, or sometimes known as the Red-Bearded Fire-Breathing Chiefs fans Whisperer, Whisper. And I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs, so make sure to sub if you're new for the most thorough Chiefs content on the platform. Hit that like button if Patrick Mahomes is Derek Carr's biological father, without a doubt. And let's get into this video starting with some good news here, and that is the Chiefs concluded day 3 of their full practice with no additional injuries, although there were 5 total players absent. The first absentee was defensive end Carlos Dunlap, who was excused today and won't be seen until sometime next week.
Carlos won't be here until I think he gets here next Wednesday. So he's got some things that he's got to take care of and before he gets up here. But his role will be he'll work into the mix at the defensive end position, and it's a nice addition. Obviously, he's been doing this a while. And he can still roll. So
well, with 8.5 sacks last year, he can still roll indeed, so let's freaking go. See you Wednesday, Carlos Dunlap. The other player who is missing but not injured is obviously Orlando Brown Jr., who still hasn't showed up to training camp, let alone sign his franchise tag for that matter. And since we're on the subject of Orlando, from what I could gather, Roderick Johnson again was the man who took reps at left tackle in Orlando's absence today. And Andy Reid spoke on Roderick briefly today during his presser as well.
He's a good, solid player. I mean, we're not set. You know, we saw the Orlando thing out there, and all that, but you can go play with Roderick. I mean, he can jump in there and play the game. So I like what I'm seeing. I look forward to seeing him at pads, but he's got some experience, so I know what he can do.
So yeah, we will see how things continue to play out once the pads come on, and of course everything will change the day Orlando shows up, whenever the heck that may be. And as far as the other 3 players not at practice today, those were all players on the PUP list: Rashad Fenton, Lucas Niang, and Prince Tega Wanogho. And I noted in yesterday's video that Justin Reid was taken to the injury tent yesterday, but after about 15 minutes, he did return to the sideline, although was held out from scrimmage. The Chiefs said he was fine and good to go, and it looks like they were correct in that assessment because today he was a full participant in practice with no signs of ill effects, bodily injury, or anything like that. And from what I could understand, was a full go today. So again, great news for Justin Reid. And moving over to special teams for a moment here, as far as kick returns go, the group of guys that were seen working today was Corey Coleman, Skyy Moore, Jerrion Ealy, and Isaiah freaking Pacheco. So there's the man I was looking to see on that list. Pacheco himself, suspicion potentially confirmed, as I think he'd be a great one to return kicks based on his elusiveness as a running back and his speed. He ran a 4.37 40 and is a fairly quick individual to say the least. And since we're talking about running backs, albeit loosely, Ronald Jones stepped up to the podium today to speak with the media after practice, and this is what he had to say about the competition of the running back room.
Yeah, it's a lot of competition. You know, we got a lot of good guys, you know, guys, vets, you know, with rings and stuff like that. So I really like the group. You know, I'm learning every day, so it's been good.
Oh, yeah, Rojo, the running back room is definitely competitive to say the least, especially when you have rookies out there like Pacheco leaning in with eager eyes, waiting for his opportunity to take another grown man's job. A vet that everyone has been leaning on in the running back room, though, that's CEH, Rojo, and also Pacheco, is the 9-year veteran, Jerick McKinnon.
You know, I was talking to Jet the other day. He said he's going on year 9, so, you know, I'm just taking everything that he's saying. He's been in this offense, you know, he's 1, 2, so definitely with play recognition, just the integrity of the plays, you know, how to run it. You know, every play is like got a different certain timing.
Rojo is here to be a part of a winning organization with a great QB, check, a great system and coach, check, and also importantly, a great offensive line.
Offensive line, real great. That's part of the reason, you know, why I saw, you know, obviously with the coach and the quarterback. So, you know, hand-in-hand offense, you know, it's a match made, you know, that you want as a running back.
Well, I'm certainly excited to see how things progress as the pads come on this Monday and see how the running back room is looking to shape up before this upcoming preseason game. From here, though, I want to switch gears and focus on today's practice specifically and look at some standout players, starting with the defense, because during sevens, Willie Gay had an interception off Mahomes and took it all the way to the freaking house, clearly all the way amped up on Mountain Dew as he egged the crowd to cheer him on, pumping them up like it was a real game. It was a great read by Willie, don't get me wrong, and I feel like this is only the beginning for this man, who is much better than his Madden rating of a 69 overall. Whoever made that rating should get fired. I can promise you that. Next up on the standout list on the defense is actually cornerback Joshua Williams, who got some early reps with the ones in today's 11-on-11 period, which is a good sign for the rookie. The 4th round draft pick from a D2 HBCU, Fayetteville State. He seems to be impressing coaches and is getting an encouraging nod early on here at training camp, which is certainly an exciting thing to see, and I'm sure somewhat helped by the fact that Rashad Fenton is still rehabbing his shoulder and on the PUP list. But hey, credit to Williams, who's been out there diligently putting that work in. Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride even mentioned today that some would say Joshua Williams is possibly looking even more of a starting cornerback than Trent McDuffie so far, or at least making more splashes than McDuffie, which is very freaking interesting. It's a good sign for Williams, but maybe not so much for the 1st round pick, Trent McDuffie, whom the Chiefs traded up to go and grab. Now, don't freak out, and before you try to stone me or something crazy, McDuffie is getting paired with some of the best on the other side of the ball and has been a bit limited here and there via OTAs with a head injury, I believe it was. And again, this is all without pads. We really need to pause, hold our horses, let's ride like Russell Wilson, or wait to ride, unlike Russell Wilson, until Monday and see what happens when contact is introduced and McDuffie is allowed to be more physical at the line of scrimmage when the pads come on. We all know that a player such as Joshua Williams, who's larger, a larger, bigger-bodied corner, can stand out while very limited contact is allowed, and then things could change drastically once the pads come on. Although I do hope for Josh's sake that he can continue to trend upward, because I very much like to see an underdog succeed. Coach Reid himself was asked about Williams today, and here's what he had to say.
I think he's a good player. You know, I've got to see now. We got to see how this thing goes as the numbers build up here. But he looks good skill, and we'll see. We'll just see how it goes.
Honestly, he didn't seem all that positive about Williams, maybe more optimistically neutral, which echoes my thoughts that it's too early to tell and we simply need to wait and see how things play out. He did say, though, that even though Williams is from a D2 school, he can still come out and compete at a high level, no doubt.
Yeah, well, I think he's come out here and shown that he can do that. He's not shying away. He's a big kid for that position. He's a big kid, and he can run long, and I think he's very, very smart. And so he's been able to pick it up, the mental part of it he's been able to pick up. He's working a couple fundamental things, and he's looking at himself, and he's saying, I got to get better at this, and you can see him out here working on it.
And if we look over at some standouts on the other side of the football, Nate Taylor of The Athletic noted this about tight end Jody Fortson, saying, "It's a Jody Fortson day, folks. The man has been impressive with his reps." So yeah, Fortson is out there looking healthy and seems to be coming into his own already at training camp, bouncing back from that nasty Achilles injury. And Pete Sweeney said today during his podcast that Fortson may be slowly but surely making his case to potentially take over the reins for the day when Kelce decides to hand them over. Not that Fortson will be Travis Kelce. Nobody's going to be Travis Kelce, but he could definitely be a solid contributor on this offense for years to come if Fortson stays healthy and continues to improve and grow as a tight end in this offense. Fortson could also really help this season, specifically in the red zone, which is always a welcomed help indeed. Another offensive standout would be Marquez Valdez-Scantling. We saw more Mahomes to MVS connects today than we have the previous couple of days, one which included a connection on a deep route. And while I have a feeling this is something we need to get used to seeing, it's a bit of a surprise that MVS has remained so quiet thus far, considering the connection that Mahomes and MVS seem to have during OTAs and how much that was all talked up, hyped up, and all that good stuff. But again, it's going to ebb and flow here as the days goes on, and it's all a bit of noise until the pads come on. So let's just wait and see how that plays out next week. But to note, MVS was looking nice out there today, as well as rookie wide receiver Skyy Moore, who is another standout from today. He could be seen working on some screen passes, and sheesh, look at old Darian Kennard here in this clip. Homie was moving. Hulk smash? Nah, Hulk run fast. Anyway, Skyy Moore also had the catch of the day, possibly the play of the day, with this amazing diving catch where Najee Johnson could be seen against him in coverage, but man, there was nothing Najee Johnson could do about this. It was simply an incredible freaking grab. Skyy fully laid out for that one at full speed and managed to maintain possession as he slammed to the ground. A phenomenal catch for the rookie, and in my eyes, only shows glimpses of what we're going to see from this man in the future. Remember, Skyy was injured during most of OTAs with a pulled hamstring and is still shaking off the nerves and rust of working with the full team at the moment, so much more to come from Skyy Moore. Trust me and my beard on that. Mahomes was actually asked specifically about Skyy Moore today during his presser, and here's what our QB1 had to say about Skyy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough player. He's smaller as far as height, but he's thicker as far as a receiver. And I think you see that he's making a lot of tough contested catches over the middle. He's thinking a lot because, I mean, he's a rookie getting thrown into the offense, and we're not holding back at all. But you can tell when he knows what he's doing. He runs some great routes, has great releases, and I think can be a big part of our offense moving forward.
A big part of the offense moving forward? Well, I do love the sound of that. Of course, it's going to take some time to learn and grow as a new player in the league, yes, but it's also going to take time to learn Andy Reid's complicated playbook and earn the trust of the greatest QB in the game, Mahomes himself. But making a play like Skyy did today, Mahomes not only admitted that it was a great catch, but trust me, he's going to remember that in the future when he's going through his read progression during actual games.
He's getting more and more trust within the coaching staff and within me, and that just comes with reps. I give him the chances to make plays, and when you watch the film, and you might choose to throw it on one side, you look to the other side, and you see he's getting open. And I think you saw that today with that catch kind of down the field where he kind of dove and made a big contested catch. Even though he's not the tallest guy, he can make those tough catches, and can build that trust with the quarterbacks.
And Coach Reid seemed to echo those thoughts when talking about receivers making plays today, as he mentioned Skyy Moore by name as well.
And then with Skyy being the young kid, he made a couple nice plays. Again, it's him learning the game. He's very strong, though. You can see he's got great feet and very strong in the core area. And so that's going to come in handy for him as he goes through this.
So yeah, lots of praise coming Skyy's way, but also lots of expectations as well from someone who the Chiefs selected in the second round of this year's draft, and so many unknowns at the receiver position in the future. Next year, for example, MVS and Skyy Moore are the only starting receivers who are still slated to be under contract, with McCole being on his contract year this year, and JuJu only signing a one-year deal in the first place. So, with all that up in the air, Skyy is definitely someone who's going to be leaned on more and more as time goes on. Trust on that. From here, I want to focus up a bit more on Mahomes' presser from today because there was quite a bit in there. Pat said he's very excited about the progress of the new receiving core. There's a lot of new guys on the team, yes, but a vet on the team like McCole with lots of experience, plus MVS and JuJu come with a lot of experience themselves. The dynamic certainly looks different this year with Tyreek gone. Yeah, we all freaking know that, but Mahomes is also well aware of that aspect, and with the combined efforts of himself, Eric Bieniemy, and Coach Reid, the genius, they're going to figure out ways to make things happen regardless.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. When you have a guy of Tyreek's caliber, a lot of times when you have those one-on-one matchups, you kind of say, forget the rest of the read, let me just go to this guy. Whereas with the offense that we have now and the group of receivers that we have now, we have a lot of guys that are good, can make plays in individual routes. And so you kind of get through your progressions even more. I think it's special when you have an offensive coordinator like Eric Bieniemy, you have a head coach like Coach Reid, and all these great offensive minds on the offensive side of the ball that they're designing these plays, and I can go through my reads, and there's usually someone open on pretty much all of them.
And Pat's mindset is the same as years past, to go into the season with the goal of winning the West again, which he did say is no easy task, especially considering the offseason moves the rest of the West has made this offseason, but he still seems very confident that the Chiefs have a good chance of winning the West and making the freaking playoffs once again. Pat acknowledges that because of the Chiefs' success since he's been a starter in the league, that also comes with a lot of scrutiny from critics, but guess what? It doesn't freaking matter.
And I think that comes with any sport, any competitor. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And they build you up to tear you down, and you got to kind of know that. And for me, it's all about how can I make myself better, not what other people say. How can I make myself better so that we go out there and win football games? And at the end of the day, nothing matters until you're on that football field playing, and that's where you get to prove who you are every single day.
So you see, Mahomes is absolutely unfazed by the critics, by the pea-sized brain Skip Bayless, who says outrageous things for clicks, for example, among many other overpaid pundits around the league. And while you have QBs like Kyler Murray, who have to have a study clause in their contract, which was removed, by the way, as the Cardinals folded to the public pressure that they themselves caused, you have others on a different level, like Mahomes, with a championship mindset.
I think he's handling all that great. He's a tremendous leader. He's always been that. And he's working hard. He's going to be here early. He's going to leave late, the whole deal. So he exhausts the game while he has an opportunity to do that.
Did you hear what Reid just said? Mahomes exhausts the game, gets every little drop out of the sweat rag, if you will, while he has an opportunity to do that. Arriving early, staying late, whatever it freaking takes. Why? Because he's that guy. QB1, the best in the business, and it's not up for debate. Look, you can try to deflect from the truth saying, Mahomes just plays street ball. He doesn't know how to stay in the pocket and go through his reads. But yeah, he freaking does. First off, and second, if you don't believe me, just listen to Coach Reid himself.
A lot of coaches have to teach guys how to roll out and call plays to do that. We just do it. He just does. I know if you guys look at Pro Football Focus and all those things, so just take a peek at that and see how many times he hits the second receiver.
So yeah, there you have it from Coach Reid himself. And I know, guys, some people don't like when I'm all sassy like this, saying I'm mean-spirited, but guess what? I'm born and raised in Kansas City, and I'm a real freaking Chiefs fan. I've watched this team since I was a child. I still live in the city, and I root for nobody else. So I bleed red and gold, 1, and 2, take stupid, idiotic things that I hear on the news a little bit personally. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know, but I'm not politically correct basically ever, and my sarcasm seeps through with a deep vengeance because I don't give a crap. I'm independent. Nobody's paying me, so I'm going to say what I want when I want. I hope that's okay with y'all, and I think that's part of the reason why this channel has been growing, because people are like, what the heck? This guy speaks his mind and isn't boring. Wow, go figure. I know sometimes my jokes don't land. My dry humor is a bit like dandruff and all that good stuff, but hey, I appreciate every freaking one of you. When I started this channel, I had no idea that it was going to take off the way that it did, and you guys are the ones who are helping this community grow, and I'm freaking grateful. Let's just put it that way. Every like, comment, super thanks, it all helps and allows me to focus more and more on this channel, and I'm really excited for this season. I want to give a few shout outs real quick from Roger Shaw and Adam Gill, who both recently dropped $50 super thanks bombs, which is absolutely freaking incredible. And then Hoove with another 5. He said nothing, but he's like the channel's OG, old faithful super thanker, and I appreciate you, bro. And of course, all of you. We quite possibly have the greatest Chiefs community on YouTube, and it's because of y'all, not for me, my bald head, my red beard, and my sarcasm. It's because of y'all. So I just want to say I am very freaking grateful, and I'm stoked for the future. Make sure to leave a bearded comment or a super thanks to potentially be featured in an upcoming vid. Like and sub if you haven't already. It helps the algorithm, I promise. And then check out this video here from the Scrambling Armchair on JuJu Smith-Schuster. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?